What is up, guys? I'm Zach. Welcome back. Vlog number 2. Let's get right to it. Do you ever have those days where you just kind of want to run out into traffic? I've been wrestling with this decision that I made a couple days ago. When I made the decision, it felt so cut and dry. It felt like the only thing that made logical sense for me to do. It felt like the right choice. And now, a couple days have gone by, almost a week now, and I'm just not sure about it anymore. I saw this video of Jim Carrey giving a commencement address at Maharishi University, and it was a really fascinating talk, and he talked a lot about how the decisions that we make with our lives are based out of two things: love and fear. But I think it's a little bit more complicated than that. He spoke a lot about his father and his father's decision to become an accountant over pursuing one of his real dreams, which was becoming a comedian, like his son would later become. While it's easy enough to see his decision to become an accountant based out of fear of failure, or fear of not being able to provide a stable enough income for him and his family, I think it's more complicated than that. It's not just that he was afraid of failure. He was also afraid because he didn't want to compromise the future for the ones he loved, his family, but by giving up his dream of becoming a comedian, and chose to become an accountant, which seems like the safe choice. But in all honesty, there's a lot of fear there too. Who's to say that you won't regret not doing what you truly loved? So I see fear and love on both sides of all these decisions that they're making. And I think there's fear and love on both sides of all of the decisions we make. There's another thing that I watched recently. There's a TED Talk called Be a Man by Ehrmann. And he spoke about his time when he was a chaplain at a hospital. A big part of his job was sitting and hearing the dying words of people. There were two things that people cared about above all else when they were on their dying beds. And that was the causes that they championed and the relationships that they cherished. And so in that way, we can see that Jim Carrey's dad chose the safer path to ensure a more stable and fruitful future for the ones he loved. He chose the relationships over the cause of making untold millions laugh. So again, there's fear and love on both sides of that decision. And I truly feel like there's fear and love on all of the decisions that we make. And how does that relate back to me wanting to wander into traffic? Well, I recently decided to take a promotion at work. So along with that decision to take the promotion at work, I decided that I was going to go and enroll in classes at my local community college. Getting back into school has been something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time. By going back into school, I could become better equipped to deal with these issues that I want to deal with and champion the causes I want to champion. But ultimately, I've become sort of preoccupied with the choices I could have made instead, like getting a second job so that I could move to Boulder, which is a town in Colorado near where I live. It's a place that I've always felt drawn to. And by getting a second job, or a better paying full-time job, I could easily and comfortably afford to move up there. I could spend a lot of time investing time and energy into creating better relationships and pursuing things like music and rock climbing and art, and I could do that with a network of people. But taking on a second job and moving to a new city while reinvesting time and effort in making music, art, and new friends, while also trying to go back to school, as well as taking on extra responsibility at the job I already have, I don't know if there's enough hours in the day. I know that I'm still young, and I know that none of the decisions that I make right now are going to be permanent. I have plenty of time to invest in all of these things, just not all at once. So what's been really stressing me out is, how do you choose? How do you choose where to focus your energies right now? And I'm also smart enough to know that if I start really investing time and energy into some of these activities, that they're going to pay off in all these other ways. If I go back to school, I'm going to be making new friends. If I go focus on my relationships, I'm going to meet people that I want to make music with. Is choosing the path of least resistance just a way of avoiding some of the scarier, bigger decisions you have to make in the future? Or is it smart to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you? Is it smarter to focus on my career, whatever that means? Or is it just a justification to not invest in my relationships because I'm afraid of what might be down that road? How do you choose between the causes that you love and the relationships you want to cherish? And by the way, these are not rhetorical questions. I'd really like to get your guys' opinions on these. Hit me up in the comments on this video or on Facebook and Twitter and let me know what you guys think. What's going on with this hair? What's it doing? What's it doing? Okay.